the President of Kenya, the President of Uganda, the Sultan of Brunei Darussalam, the King of Eswatini, the Prime Minister of Singapore, the President of Namibia, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, the President of Nigeria, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Prime Minister of Mauritius, the President of Sierra Leone, the President of Guyana, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the President of Rwanda. The Secretary General of the Commonwealth. I now invite you all to stand as we welcome His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales.
Every Commonwealth member having given the United Kingdom the chance to serve a close friend and a partner about the future of the Commonwealth at the forefront of the international gathering was successful. For this 26th Commonwealth family, all Commonwealth members are some of the world's wealthiest nations, has the ability. The decisions were to bestow this over these past 70 years. And look, as I said in Barbados last November, we should never for the betterment of all citizens of the Commonwealth. In the diversity of the 2.6 billion we're bringing to supporting youth, business and civil society as a republic or monarchy is purely a matter for each moment, not despite, but because of the diversity. I was also greatly held so much that is extraordinary, as knowledge and ideas, our courage and determination, our truth, our represents not just words on a page.
Introduce the students of the Rwanda School of Creative. And their excellencies exit the stage, and our most distinguished
And Rwanda to this great family of nations. And now coming
It's a pleasure and honor to welcome you to the 26th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, the 6th in Africa, and the first since our world was turned upside down by a devastating pandemic. The fact of holding this meeting in Rwanda, a new member with no historical connection to the British Empire, expresses our choice to continue reimagining the Commonwealth for a changing world. The Commonwealth does not replace other institutions. It adds to them. That's why we always have important special guests with us. This year, let me recognize in particular His Highness, the Emir of Qatar, and I thank him for being here with us. The Commonwealth we need is on the front lines of global challenges, not on the periphery, watching events unfold. Our special strength is to bring issues into focus that might otherwise be overlooked. For instance, the way that climate change puts the very existence of small islands and developing states into jeopardy, or the possibility to transcend size and geography by leveraging new technologies to create high-quality global jobs for our youth right at home. We are united by a shared language, whether English is our first, second, third, or even fourth one. But what really defines us are the values enshrined in the Commonwealth Charter and a commitment to good governance, the rule of law, and the protection of rights. That's why we shall always remain open to new voices and new members. And wherever we might fall short, we find solutions through consensus and dialogue. We build each other up and we move forward together. In closing, I want to welcome you all to Rwanda. Ours is a country that was torn apart by genocide and division just a generation ago. Today, we are a nation transformed in heart, mind, and body. Three-quarters of our population are young people with no memory of those events. Everything we do, including joining the Commonwealth in 2009, is aimed at making sure that our people are connected, included, and forward-looking. We are delighted that through CHOGM, you have the opportunity to get to know us, and we aim to repay that trust with many years of continued friendship.
This CHOGM has been a long time coming. The period since we last gathered together has been marked with sorrow. More than 1 million of our brothers and sisters across the Commonwealth, from all walks of life, including heads of government, have died. And as we formally open this vital meeting, I invite you all to join with me in a moment of silent reflection in memory of them all. Excellencies, in 1953, Her Majesty the Queen shared her vision for a Commonwealth which bears no resemblance to the empires of the past, to an entirely new conception built on the highest qualities of the spirit of man, friendship, loyalty, and the desire for freedom and peace, an equal partnership of nations and races to which she would give her heart and soul. She has given her heart and soul. In the year of her Platinum Jubilee, with heartfelt thanks and the greatest admiration, we pay tribute to her. And we warmly welcome her representative and the future head of the Commonwealth, His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales. Her Majesty's vision remains the standard against which we judge ourselves as a family of nations. In 1919, at the end of a war which killed millions, during a pandemic which killed millions more, leaders gathered in France, striving for an internal peace. Their quest was noble, but it failed. That failure had profound and devastating consequences. After the horrors and bloodshed of the Second World War, it fell upon a new generation to shape a just and lasting peace, and the international system as we know it today was born. The Commonwealth is part of that system, brought together to bring a touch of healing to kinships which were changing, but which continue to bind us. I believe profoundly that the Commonwealth today, in 2022, is a beacon within that international system, a place where people come together, where we work together, where no voice is louder or more important than any other, and where no one is left behind. Yes, we have shared interests and practical advantages, but we are the most significant grouping of countries in the history of the world, which is bound, above all, by values which we all aspire to. These values of peace and justice, of tolerance, respect, and solidarity, and our role as the foremost international champion for small and vulnerable states remain our enduring responsibility. They express a vision for the world that will outlast all of us. They make us different. They make us special. Honoring these values and that vision is our most sacred trust and our gift to the generations which will follow. Today, as we gather in the midst of new and decisive shifts in our world, it is imperative that those values shape the choices we will make in the hours and days ahead. The economic damage of COVID and mounting debt confront us all. The rapid intensification of climate change poses an existential threat. The tremors of conflict and instability in our world, the spiraling costs of food and fuel, and economic uncertainty threaten a serious and protracted crisis. This CHOGM is first and foremost an opportunity to find answers to these questions. It will not be easy. We will have to dig deep. We will have to respect each other and find what joins us. We must trust each other. We must talk and listen to each other and give all that we have to achieve progress for the 2.5 billion people we all represent. But here, in Rwanda, something else is at stake, something even more transformational. The world is changing. People are anxious. I understand the pressure on each and every head of state today. The last few years have shaken the kaleidoscope. But before the pieces settle, we have an opportunity right here, right now, to show the world what real unity, real solidarity, real cooperation, and real progress look like. To have served as your Secretary General these past 6 years is the great honor and privilege of my life. Together, we have been friends in good times and in bad, voices for the voiceless, advocates for development and progress. We have laid the foundations for transformational change, and I am determined that when the role of Secretary General rotates to Africa 2 years from now, I will hand on the baton with a stronger, more effective, more powerful Commonwealth than ever before. I have an unshakable belief that we can take our Commonwealth to new heights, to hold our values ever closer, and to set an example for the whole world. As Her Majesty the Queen has said, it has always been easy to hate and destroy. To build and to cherish is much more difficult. This week, face to face with each other and in the presence of her son and heir, we have the greatest opportunity we will ever have to live up to those words. It is a huge task, but if our history tells us anything, it is that we can seize the moment with confidence in our values and each other. And I thank you.